Need some parts, cams, cranks, rods, stroker kits, you know where to go, briancrowder.com and runbc.com. All right, Lorette Nickel just checked in with Jeff. Lorette, what's up?
Thank you, Jared. Jeff told me that he one cylinder, so he's wiring he can follow, but he's really about his lead run. So the guy's working right now, again, on one cylinder, and team working hard to get it back together.
Bummer. Thank you so much for the update. So down a cylinder, seven cylinders.
Wouldn't have noticed.
Wouldn't have noticed at all, dude. I mean, that was really, really well done, and that's what Jeff is all about. Tenacity, just really getting after it. It's not about he's got a lot of fight in him, right? So Dean Kearney, Branden Sorensen. Look at this, the baby-faced assassin here, Branden Sorensen going against Dean Kearney. He is out for blood. He looks like carnage. He looks like a hooligan. He's ready to throw down. I love Dean. Spent a lot of time with him over the last couple of years, and just giving out Vipers and just having a lot of fun. And I really like his spirit and his tenacity. So the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper. He is ready to throw down against this 212 performance. BMW of Branden Sorensen. Branden, again, the youngest driver ever to qualify in Formula Drift competition. Branden Sorensen out front. Dean Carnage Kearney in the chase position. Coming down the hill as the Oracle lights are on the back bumper of that BMW. Look at that nasty flick by Dean Kearney. Oh, Branden going off. Wow, was that just crazy understeer? Did something happen? I mean, Branden absolutely shot off. There was no contact. So that means that there will be a massive deficit that unfortunately Branden will have.
Yeah, if I had to speculate there, big, powerful 12-cylinder Viper behind me. I need to go fast.
10-cylinder.
10-cylinder. I need to go super fast and just kind of overcook it into the first corner, understeer a little bit, and then basically pretty much couldn't get out of that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it again. We see a lot of this here, drivers trying to figure out the best way to approach. And then I think before he was transitioning, or after he was transitioning from that inside clip, I think he kind of knew that he had cooked it here. Because up until this point, a little bit before there, he could have been okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just sliding towards the kitty litter, and then he just straightened out. So let's alternate the positions here for Kearney and Sorensen. You can see Osbo. He's rip-roaring, ready to go. He's on deck. He's in the batting circle. We're officially halfway through the top 16. On the left side of the bracket, Matt Field against JTP, Von Gint Jr. versus Eve Meyer. And now, who's moving on? Kearney and Sorensen. If Kearney keeps it on the road, he will advance into the Great Eight. Wow, real. Oh, my goodness.
Another one.
Another one.
Now, this one at first pass looks a little bit more interesting because there was contact there, at least from what I saw in terms of the movement of the vehicles. There was a big, long e-brake pull from Dean around that inside clip. Now remember, the decel zone goes all the way to the inside clip, and you need to be back on throttle there, the momentum zone. There are often times when too much decelling, too much downside in momentum is a problem.
He just wraps it right around the pole.
But I think Dean is not doing that. I think he did have a long e-brake pull. He let it off for a second, but he's getting back on throttle by the inside clip. Look at the right rear. E-brake on throttle, and then tap.
Right.
So Sorensen may have just been closing a little bit too aggressively there. That's my read on it, just looking at it in real time right now, a couple replays, but the judges may think differently.
Perspective, man. All the cameras in the world, and people be like, nah, dude, that's not how I saw it.
Interpretation.
Oh, my gosh. Serena, right? Georgia. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful day here and weekend. And absolutely,
this has been the best.
Some beautiful people out here. Just everybody has been so gracious and I think empathetic towards just everybody.
Yeah, there's also been a little bit of vibe like, we doing this?
Right.
Is it cool?
Are we
all right?
Like everybody's looking at their shoulders, right? All right, the judges want another look at it.
So let's take a look at Sorensen. Let's focus on Sorensen a little bit more this time. Kind of a straight line approach following Dean. You can see he's also e-braking along with Dean. I think Dean is kind of okay here after watching it for the third time. It looks like he did e-brake pull for a long period of time. Then he gets off, a little bit of an e-brake again, right at inside clip number 1.
Okay, here's a different angle.
And then back on throttle. Now we'll look at Dean's right rear. The e-brake, e-brake, e-brake. He's going to let it off. He's going to unwind it right about there. And I think he does another little tap right there, and then he's back on throttle. And it looks like
Branden
Sorensen was just coming in. I mean, I wouldn't fault Sorensen for that. Like, oh, you did a bad job.
No,
it's just this is a crazy entry here, and you really need to have kind of a fine-tooth comb approach with each competitor, because the differences in initiation, whether it's an Osbo using one side of the course going to the next, straight line approach, long e-brake pull, like there's just so many things that you have to adjust to, because we don't constrain the drivers on their initiation approach.
And you got to think how much track time Dean has had here at Road Atlanta compared to Branden. I mean, he's got proper angle, and Branden
he was just
coming in hot.
He was just starting to get on throttle. And I could see the judges saying maybe Dean is getting on throttle a little bit late. You don't see the apparent smoke until after the inside clip, but his wheels were definitely moving. And I think you could probably say he was getting on throttle there. But, yeah, this is a tough one.
Oh, boy. We got Nick Fosekis. He's texting me some things right now. Our director's making claims right now. I guess what do we got, Kemp? Okay. All right, Nick Fosekis on the building, tuning in, watching. Hashtag FDATL at Formula D on IG. A lot of info just streaming in, coming in. Dean Kearney, Branden Sorensen. Man, that sun drops. It gets brisk, and I really think that's going to play another role as far as a variable for these drivers. And Dean, he was notably one that said, I've been driving on the same tires for 10 years, and now I got to change them? You know, like.
That was pretty good. You went halfway on that.
Yeah, I didn't go full on.
Yeah.
I didn't go full on. Yeah.
Yes, this is a tough one, Jared. I mean, I think, you know, the judges are now ready to speak to us, so let's go ahead and open up their mics and see what they have to say.
Yeah, this is a really tough one, guys. It comes down to our momentum map, and this year we're pretty lucky that we actually made it on an actual aerial shot of this track. The momentum map ends right at inside clip number 1, and we had to watch over and over again to see when Dean pulled that handbrake the second time, and it looks like, to me personally, it was before inside clip 1, and he was back on throttle at the clip. We say the absolute latest point in time you can get back on throttle is at the inside clip, and it looks like he was just back on throttle, and Sorensen got on throttle and kind of got into him. So it depends how the other judges are going to look at it. We analyzed it independently while we talked about it. I think we have different opinions on what occurred, but we'll see how they put their votes in. So there are a few different ways that can go. Sorensen got an incomplete in his lead by going off the track there, and now it's down to, is this Dean's fault, Sorensen's fault, or shared fault on this one? And that determination will determine how we go forward from here.
Well, it does look like 2 out of the 3 of you are decided. We just got the last judge's vote, so here we go.
Yeah.
So Dean Kearney, there it is. So Dean Kearney gets the win, and it was not unanimous. So Brian Egger and Ryan Lontaine say Dean Kearney. So elaborate, if you will. Chris went against the grain here and said one more time.
Yeah, he believed that second handbrake pull was the one that did it for Dean. That